You know that feeling when you're scrolling through travel ideas and everything feels a bit, mm, well, samey.
Uh-huh. Like the magic has been, I don't know, mass-produced.
Exactly. We've been craving something more authentic, maybe a quieter kind of beauty, the kind of place that feels like stepping into a storybook you haven't read yet.
Yeah, that search for the less obvious, the genuinely unique,
Yeah,
it really speaks to wanting travel that nourishes the soul, right? Not just the Instagram feed.
totally. So we dove into this 2025 travel guide that just sang to that exact feeling. 21 yet undiscovered fairy tale villages in Europe. Forget the usual tourist hordes. This guide is all about peaceful, authentic European spots.
You know, the kind where the charm hasn't been polished away by crowds.
Right. So our goal with this deep dive is really to give you the essence of these hidden worlds. Think of it like a curated peek behind the velvet rope.
Yeah, revealing the special character of these places. We want those aha moments, the kind that spark real travel dreams, but, without just drowning you in details.
Precisely. We're going to explore a hand-picked selection, villages scattered across Europe, and sort of uncover what makes each one tick.
We'll touch on their histories, their defining features, and I guess why they might just be that detour you didn't know you needed.
Okay, let's unpack this. And where better to start our journey than clinging to the cliffs of Provence?
Ah, Moustier-Sainte-Marie in France.
Yeah.
That immediately paints a picture, doesn't it? Dramatic beauty.
Right. This village, nestled so intimately within the cliffs, it's instantly recognizable by that, well, that intriguing star suspended between the peaks.
That star. The guide mentions a tale, something about a crusader knight, a symbol of gratitude for coming home safe.
Yeah, it's become the emblem of Moustiers, like a constant reminder of that old story. But it's not just the setting and the legend. There's also this deep-rooted tradition of faience pottery. Goes way back to the 17th century.
And what's cool about that craft is how it reflects the village's spirit. It's not just pretty objects. The guide points out you can actually see artisans working, keeping the heritage alive.
Like watching history being shaped by hand.
Exactly. A testament to their dedication. And imagine wandering those narrow stone streets, the air just thick with lavender that's Provence for you.
That mix of like visual drama and delicate artistry is just captivating. And for a perspective that truly takes your breath away, the guide suggests climbing up to Notre Dame de Beauvoir Church. Early morning, apparently.
Oh yeah, picture that view unfolding as the day starts with that lavender scent. Okay, now for a complete change of scene, let's head south to Andalusia, to Ronda in Spain, a village perched right on the edge.
Ronda. It offers a different kind of breathtaking, definitely. But built straddling this huge canyon, it just inspires awe, you know?
And the Puente Nuevo, the new bridge, is its absolute centerpiece.
Which is so ironic because the guide points out it dates back to 1793. New is definitely relative here.
Huh. True. But it's an undeniable feat of engineering soaring across the El Tajo Gorge. Yeah. That 98-meter drop.
Wow.
Makes you appreciate the ambition.
That contrast between the name and its age really sticks with you, doesn't it? Shows how significant it still is.
And connecting it culturally, the guide notes how Ronda captivated people like Ernest Hemingway and Orson Welles. That says a lot about its powerful atmosphere.
It really does. Like the raw beauty just fuels creativity. And beyond the bridge, Ronda has one of Spain's oldest bull rings, the Plaza de Toros, from 1785.
Mm-hmm. To really soak it in, the guide suggests just getting lost in the old town, La Ciudad, winding streets, ancient Arab baths.
It sounds like a place where echoes of the past are almost like tangible. Okay, from the sun-drenched south, let's climb up high to Italy and Castelluccio di Norcia.
Cataluccio. This offers a spectacle of a totally different kind. La Fiorita, the flowering, high up in the Monte Sibillini National Park.
The valley floor just explodes into this vibrant tapestry of wildflowers, right? Late May to mid-July.
Yeah, a breathtaking canvas of color. Red poppies, blue cornflowers, golden asphodels. The description is stunning.
But there's a poignant side to this beauty too, isn't there? The village was hit hard by the 2016 earthquake.
That's a really crucial part of its story. Despite the devastation, the guide really emphasizes the community's resilience, their rebuilding efforts. It adds this layer of profound human spirit to the beauty.
Definitely. And it's not just flowers. Castelluccio is famous for its food, too, especially the lenticchie di Castelluccio, the lentils, some of the finest in the world, apparently.
Imagine having a hearty lentil soup there with local cheese, knowing the history of the land.
And there's another sensory detail the guide captures. Watching the fog creep down from the hilltop into the plain early in the morning sounds magical.
Truly. Okay, let's journey west now to Portugal and the medieval hilltop village of Montserrat.
Montserrat, it presents this image of like serene strength, perched like a white sentinel amidst olive groves.
Yeah, that classic Portuguese charm.
Mhm.
Whitewashed houses, those distinctive blue and yellow accents.
And the guide describes passing through the ancient gate onto cobblestone streets that just whisper history nights, merchants. It's like stepping right into the past.
But there's a fascinating modern contrast too, right? That view of the huge artificial lake from the Alcueva Dam.
Exactly. The Alcava Dam, one of Europe's biggest artificial lakes, offers this striking vista from the village walls. Ancient meets modern.
And what's really cool is that Montserrat is a dark sky reserve, perfect for stargazing. Imagine medieval charm by day, celestial wonders by night.
That's an incredible combination. And the guide mentions the local food too, suggests trying Alentejo dishes like assorda and migas. Shows how intertwined the culture is with the land.
Mm-hmm. Now back into Spain, this time to the Aragon region and the captivating village of Albarracin.
Albarracin, it immediately catches your eye with those old defensive walls along the Tagus River and the pink stone houses.
Right, the guide explains the reddish iron in the cliffs gives it that unique warm hue. Apparently, it's especially enchanting at sunset.
It sounds incredibly picturesque. Narrow winding streets, old doorways, wooden balconies. The guide says it feels like a film set.
And for those who like a climb, the castle at the top offers panoramic views across the whole valley.
What's also interesting is the mention of bouldering spots nearby, an unexpected draw for outdoorsy types.
Shows how these quiet places can have surprising adventures. And the guide wisely advises booking accommodation early. Those boutique hotels and guest houses, some in old mansions, sound like a really immersive stay.
Waking up in a centuries-old building surrounded by pink stone sounds amazing.
Okay, let's hop back to France, Luberon region of Provence this time, and the iconic hilltop village of Gourds.
Ah, gourds! Quintessential Provence. Stone houses cascading down a hillside overlooking lavender fields and vineyards. The guide calls it a symphony in stone.
That really captures it, doesn't it? The way the sunlight hits those pale limestone walls, bathing everything in this warm golden light. Idyllic.
And nearby, there's the Village de Bourry, those ancient stone huts built without mortar, a remarkable glimpse into old building techniques.
What seems really appealing about Gourds from the guide is embracing that Provençal lifestyle, the Tuesday market. Yeah, full of local treasures, lavender honey, olive oil, goat cheese, followed by, a relaxed drink in the square at sunset, maybe some local music.
That sounds like the perfect way to just soak it all in. Okay, let's journey back to Portugal, deep in the Serra do Açor Mountains, the enchanting village of Piedon.
Piedon has this distinct, almost secretive charm. Houses made from dark schist stone, but with vibrant blue shutters.
That contrast sounds striking, and the guide says even the journey there, winding through mountain roads, feels like an escape.
Wonderfully remote, almost hidden. And its history as a refuge for deserters and bandits adds a bit of mystique, doesn't it?
It does. Now it's a peaceful sanctuary. Staying at the Inatal Piedon Hotel with fireplaces sounds incredibly cozy with that mountain air.
And the regional food promises hearty flavors like cabrito asado and chanfana, a village deeply connected to its rugged landscape.
Right. Now let's venture back to Italy again, to a place with a pretty dramatic name, Civita di Bagnoregio, known as the Dying City.
That nickname alone sparks curiosity, maybe a touch of melancholy. The guide explains it's due to soil erosion, leaving it connected only by that long, thin pedestrian bridge.
Founded by the Etruscans 2,500 years ago, steeped in ancient history.
Just crossing that bridge, knowing how few people live there permanently, must feel like stepping out of time.
The medieval feel, ivy on the walls, potted flowers, a resilient beauty against the odds.
And the views from the piazza in front of San Donato Church, especially at sunset, with some local Orvieto wine, sounds unforgettable.
Truly like a place where time stands still. Okay, let's head north now to Alsace in France and the picturesque village of Eguisheim.
Eguisheim is described as having this unique layout, like a spiral, nestled in the vineyards. Concentric design, pastel, half-timbered houses with geraniums.
It's a quintessential Alsatian postcard, basically.
Exactly. Incredibly charming, totally photogenic. And being right on the Alsace wine road makes it a haven for wine lovers, Grand Cru Riesling, Gewürztraminer.
Mm. The guide suggests exploring local cellars, trying regional food like choucroute garni or tarte flambée, a delicious immersion.
And the nearby ruins of Les Trois Chateaux offer more great vineyard views. Eguisheim seems to perfectly blend architecture and wine heritage.
Okay, now let's journey east to Austria and the village of Dürnstein along the Danube.
Dürnstein, instantly recognizable by that striking Baroque blue and white church tower.
Right in the heart of the Washoe Valley, a UNESCO site famous for its terraced vineyards and the river.
And the historical link to Richard the Lionheart being imprisoned in the castle ruins overlooking the village adds this layer of intrigue. The legends of his minstrel Blondel finding him.
That story still resonates, and Dürnstein is, of course, synonymous with its fantastic Gruner Veltliner wine.
Imagine sipping that crisp white wine in a local cellar, maybe having some Watchauer Lobro bread or Moreland noodle, those apricot dumplings by the river.
The guide also suggests cycling or hiking through the vineyards, especially when the apricot trees bloom. Sounds like a sensory overload in the best way.
Definitely. Now let's climb up to the Swiss Alps and the village of Guarda.
Guarda, high in the Engadin Valley, it showcases that distinctive Swiss alpine architecture, houses decorated with sgraffito.
Yeah, that fascinating technique of etching plaster to reveal intricate designs. Those flowered window boxes and geometric patterns sound so unique.
And it's the birthplace of the famous Swiss children's book Shell and Ursli and the Chaland de Mars Spring Festival, as a rich cultural layer.
With snowy winters and summer hiking in alpine meadows, maybe spotting ibex or eagles, it seemed to have year-round appeal.
And the guide describes the alpenglow at sunset, mountain peaks turning pink. Sounds incredibly serene, a breathtaking alpine escape.
Now for a dramatic shift, let's go far north to Norway's Lofoten Islands and the iconic village of Rain.
Rain, instantly recognizable. Those vibrant red fishing huts, the Rorbjør clinging to the water, with those jagged fjords towering behind, looks unreal.
Straight out of Norse mythology, yeah. And being above the Arctic Circle means extraordinary light, the midnight sun in summer, the aurora borealis in winter.
That light must be incredible. And for the adventurous, the guide mentions the tough climb up Rheinebringen Mountain for those epic views.
Worth the effort, I bet. Plus, experiencing traditional fjord fishing and tasting fresh cod and klippfisk, a real taste of coastal life.
Sounds like a place of raw, untamed beauty. Okay, let's head south now to Slovenia's Adriatic coast and the village of Piran.
Piran's Venetian past is really obvious in its architecture, right?
Yeah.
Pastel buildings around Tartini Square, named after the composer. It has that Mediterranean charm.
The guide says climb to St. George's Cathedral for panoramic views, maybe even see the Italian Alps on a clear day.
Wow. And the local Piran salt, still harvested traditionally, is a unique souvenir.
Plus, fresh seafood in the harbor restaurants. Piran seems like a great mix of history, beauty, and food.
Definitely. Now back to the Swiss Alps, but this time to the tranquil car-free village of Wengen in the Jungfrau region.
Wengen, being car-free, only reachable by cogwheel train or cable car, that immediately sets it apart.
And perched high above the Lauterbrunnen Valley, with those iconic peaks, Jungfrau, Munch, Eiger dominating the view. Spectacular scenery.
A paradise for skiers and hikers. And the famous Lauberhorn ski race happens there.
The guide mentions charming Belle Epoque hotels and traditional chalets too. Evokes a sense of timeless elegance in the mountains.
Sounds like the ultimate escape. Okay, now let's journey to Greece, to Chios Island and the unique village of Pyrgi.
Pyrgi stands out because of its decoration. The houses covered in zista, these intricate etched black and white geometric patterns.
It covers entire facades. The guide calls it a living work of art. That sounds incredible, unlike anything else.
Totally unique, and Chios is famous for mastia, that mastic gum. Tasting the local jam and liqueur sounds like a must-do.
And just wandering the narrow, maze-like streets, chatting with locals in the cafeteria, it sounds like a real cultural immersion.
Absolutely, a fascinating glimpse into a unique artistic tradition. Now let's hop over to Croatia and a village with a very special claim. The smallest town in the world.
Only about 20 residents. That's wild. Enclosed in ancient stone walls on the Istrian Peninsula.
The guide paints a picture where history feels almost tangible. The 12th century church and that quirky Yupan election tradition using notches on a stick. Delightful details.
And the local drink, biska, this mix of elderflower, wine, and rakicha adds to the mystique. Staying overnight in the guest house sounds like stepping back in time.
An experience unlike any other, for sure. Okay, next stop. Czechia and the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Télis.
Tele is famous for its main square, right? framed by ponds and these incredibly colorful Renaissance and Baroque houses with sgraffito decorations.
The guide calls it a vibrant dreamscape reflected in the water. Sounds enchanting.
Developed as a trading center in the 14th century, the merchants' prosperity led to these amazing buildings. And there's the imposing Tillich Castle, too.
Imagine strolling by the ponds, then having traditional Czech food like svíčková or sweet turtleneck with a pilsner as the light hits those colorful facades.
The guide hints the reflection of the square in the water at sunset is unforgettable. Okay, let's head to Germany, Monschau, in the Eiffel forests.
Monschau, those classic black and white half-timbered houses along the Ruhr River, like a German fairy tale setting. Apparently it's barely changed in 300 years.
The guide mentions the 18th century Rotshaus Museum glimpse into a cloth merchant's life and the famous Christmas markets.
Plus, trying the local mustard and those Britain biscuits adds regional flavor. And the Eiffel National Park nearby for nature lovers.
Sounds like a great combo of preserved history and nature. Now, across the channel to England and Castle Combe in the Cotswolds.
Castle Combe, epitome of English countryside charm. Honey-colored Cotswold stone houses, ivy, that picturesque stone bridge.
So beautiful it's used as a film set for period dramas.
Looks like it's straight out of a classic novel. The guide suggests a traditional Sunday roast at a local pub as the key experience. A village with gentle, enduring appeal.
Lovely. Now let's journey to the rugged beauty of Ireland, Roundstone and Connemara.
Roundstone, overlooking Galway Bay, turquoise water, the 12 Bens Mountains as a backdrop, captures that wild Connemara spirit.
The guide mentions seeing the traditional Irish drum, the bodhran, being made, and exploring those white coral sand beaches, Dogs Bay, Gurteen, unique coastlines.
Definitely. And of course, experiencing live traditional music and the lively atmosphere of the Crake in a local pub with a Guinness. Essential Ireland.
Absolutely. Roundstone seems to perfectly capture the raw beauty and cultural heart of the West Coast. Okay, finally, let's return to Portugal and the truly extraordinary village of Monsanto.
Monsanto, where houses are built into, on top of, even under giant granite boulders.
The guide stresses it's unlike anything else on the list, and it was named the most typical village of Portugal back in 1938.
The way the buildings blend with the rocks is just remarkable. The guide suggests just exploring the steep streets, seeing how they adapted to the landscape. It's fascinating itself.
And the views from the old Knights Templar castle at the top must be breathtaking.
The guide recommends trying local migas and papas with local olive oil and highlights the Festa das Cruzes in May as a great cultural event. Monsanto sounds like a living legend, woven into nature itself.
Wow. This journey through these, 21 villages, it really shows such a rich tapestry of European history, landscapes, culture, food, all waiting beyond the usual tourist trails.
Exactly. Each one offers a unique character, a real chance to experience life at a different pace, connect with local traditions.
The guide puts it beautifully, saying it's a journey not through time, but into life. It's a powerful reminder that travel, at its best, is about those intimate moments, the authentic connections.
So this deep dive into these undiscovered fairy tale villages really invites you to think, what does fairy tale actually mean to you when it comes to travel?
Right. Which of these unique places resonates most with your own desire for discovery, for something authentic? Is it the drama of Mastier's cliffs, the timelessness of Svita di Bagnoregio, or maybe the way Monsanto blends with nature?
Take a moment to consider what really calls to you. Is it the history in the stones, the power of the landscapes, or the chance to savor unique local flavors?
We definitely encourage you to maybe explore the guide further, or perhaps share your own discoveries of hidden villages that have captured your imagination.
Because Europe holds countless wonders like these for anyone willing to venture just a little off the beaten path. And the reward, often a richer, more personal travel experience. A chance to connect with the real heart and soul of a place.